Ladies, welcome to 3 at 1.
Thank you. Welcome.
No, thank you.
You too.
No, thank you. Amy?
Yep.
Thank you. Now, Amy, for people watching this in 100 years' time, they will not realise that this is our second session today.
That is true.
Now, why is it our second session? Because we can't remember what we said on the first one.
We have more.
And we had a funny feeling that we hadn't said it all.
Haven't let it all out.
We hadn't.
English has been so good today.
English is not my first language.
Oh.
We hadn't get it all done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, now, and it's nearly 1, isn't it? Be 1 in a few hours.
No.
5 hours. So we're pretty close.
It'll be 1 o'clock somewhere.
Be
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock somewhere, but we know we've got 3 people here. Well, that we're aware of.
At least partially here.
Yeah. If you count the...
The presence of the fourth.
Yeah. Okay, so the first session we did, which I don't know the title of. I wonder what the title will be. Because don't watch this one until you watch that one, which is unnamed at this point. But
You could call it Martha. But every...
it might be called Martha and Mary. That might be what we call it. We'll call it that. Although Sam tends to name
Just
them,
make his own.
make his own names up for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't understand the names he says, and then when he explains them, I feel stupid because he says, "Isn't that an obvious thing?" And I go, "It's pretty cool." Right. So last session we talked about victories, talked about pathfinders, prototypes, talked about winning ground for other people, and we said that you two were the two sides of a coin, and one walked out of victory in the Mary realm, which had its own challenges, and one walked out the victory in the Martha realm, which is obviously way easier. So Hannah's victory, she had her breakthrough in the Lord as a Mary, and we called it in the other video an extreme version of Mary, so extreme that it freaked everybody out that we knew, Christians and non-Christians, and I found out afterwards, just chatting to you, it freaked you out.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So a Mary the type that, okay, sit at his feet and just don't do anything. Now, that's a cool concept, and people have a little quiet time or have a little pray, but when the Lord says, sit at my feet and don't do anything for...
Spiritually and naturally.
For a couple of decades. From the age of 14 through to...
30. But there was
That's decade and a half. Yeah, and so, like you said to me, easy at the start, not easy, but easiest, but harder and harder to explain as you get older. So, not allowed to do anything. No job, no career, no training, no real relationships, no money, just sitting with the Lord, getting a victory. Because, and like people go, why? Well, this is trying to get to. The victory was that the world system says you have to work. And so Hannah was like breaking that pattern.
Yes. And then the other one was the religious one. Doing all the religious stuff. I didn't do any of it.
No, she was...
So I took on works in religion.
Non-compliant.
In the Mary aspect.
Yeah, so you didn't do anything right in the world's eyes and nothing in the church's eyes.
Correct.
Yeah, so everyone said you were a failure and out of order, and I had plenty of people encourage me to sort you out. And I tried initially and turned out that was impossible. Yeah, and and quite quickly...
Yeah, quite quickly.
Quite quickly. I was
on board.
I was on board. Because the trouble is when you do something new, it's new. There's no parameters. You don't know what's going on. And everybody says, nah, this is the way it's got to be. And so you're evidence of another way. And why you did it was a prophetic enactment, because we're trying to break the power of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The good stuff's killing people, the good works, the good deeds, all the good stuff, and the bad stuff's obvious. It's all the good stuff, all the rules, regulations, and you smashed all those protocols and came out with great statements like principles, aren't king.
Yeah.
So that was good. So that was your victory. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side of the coin,
Other side of the coin.
we have your partner in crime,
The gold coin.
gold coin. We have McFloozle-Dardle, and you did the exact opposite. And on the last video, you were like so busy doing so much for so many people in the church and in the secular realm and in every realm. You were the go-to person. And all you ever wanted to do was be Mary. So that's why, and so you've come through all that and you've smashed that, and like, because people would said failure for her, that was what the call was. I'm going to finish in a minute. Failure for her, and they said for you success in all their measurements, and you're going, and she's going, I'm not a failure, I'm successful, and you're going, that's not success. Doing everything that the church and the world says to do is not success. Success is him sitting at his feet, hearing his voice, feeling his presence. So you've battled through all that. So you did everything wrong. I mean everything wrong, and you did probably everything right.
There was a measure of doing things wrong through there as well.
Yeah.
That there's a series of things that the Lord had me do, which backed up against religious.
Oh, you
things.
became tricky. Yeah, you became tricky.
But
All right.
yes, I did. There was that thing where you had to do all the right stuff.
So what it is God's coming for His church to set it free from religion, from works mentality, and to say it's okay to choose first the kingdom. Now, not everybody's going to do what you did. It's hard,
Yeah.
super hard. But in the end, your life's not for you, it's for others. And so all the prophetic stuff, and we used to talk about it, the prophetic stuff in the Old Testament, the prophets' lives mirrored the message. They acted something out. Their lives were a picture. So you guys' lives have been pictures of something that God's doing in the planet, on the earth, in the church, and it was fun, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
It killed us.
Killed us.
It was so much fun.
Killed us. But it is that thing, as he is, so are we.
Yeah.
I mean, he walked out his destiny to the death and then ascended.
Yeah.
And that's what he's calling us to do, is walk out our destiny to the death and then ascend and break the curse of whatever he's asked us to break.
And not just walk it out, but walk it out without mumbling, groaning, griping, because as soon as you do that, you just all gets prolonged, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when you start winning.
When you stop doing that stuff.
You stop doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we sort of went to and finished off. And so God loves His church.
Yeah.
He loves His church, and He loves people. And one of the big bugbears that Jesus had when He was wandering around in His humanity the first time, because He's wandering around in it again now through a people, is He said, I don't like it when you burden these people. They'd come in, but you burden them. And He was He served us grumpy. He reserved His grumpiness for that. So we had to break a system and set a people free. Hey, smash the prison so it can't be refixed.
Yeah.
Small task.
All the slavery.
All the slavery, yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take long. Yeah.
It takes longer for the first people, I think.
Doesn't it?
Because you're making a path to follow, and you have to break ground that's never been broken before, and make it. You don't know where you're going, so you're making mistakes. Your direction isn't sure.
No, there's no role model.
There's no role model. Sometimes you're going around in circles.
It's a compass bearing.
But you're always trying to go forward.
Yeah. The most encouraging thing that we had the other day was when I think it was Zoe did a tape video, and she said Hannah's lifestyle and what Hannah did made Zoe able to do it in 2 years, pretty much, accept her lifestyle and the Lord's call rather than 14, because Hannah had broken through something for her, and we're thinking, job done.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
And yours is for all those poor people that are trying to do everything right. Hey, and they are just a heavy burden.
And no matter what you do, it's not enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, dig in harder, and it's like one more push, and then it just doesn't change.
Doesn't.
And you're pushing until you You can push no more. And there's no wonder that people are broken down and, mental health issues. And it's just like, how do you get past that if there is no path? And that's what we're trying to do, isn't it?
Religion's a harsh taskmaster, and the world's a harsh taskmaster, because if you're doing through works, you'll never do enough.
No.
And forget them. Forget the people out there. I mean, in here. You got to win the battle we're talking about. You guys fought this in solitary, and you fought it in here?
Yeah.
In your head?
Yeah.
Yeah, because inside there was a longing to be a Martha, and that's why you still...
Really?
Technically, you have to fight the other one as well.
Okay.
And you had to let, the Mary thing go, and I had to let the Martha thing go. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that Mary thing, that you had to deal with that. That was hard to deal with.
Well, that, I guess, and that may even have been quite recently when the Lord said, you're doing what I ask.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of you going, I should be able to bring balance to my life.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, all the catchphrases, like even, the conferences you go to through work or, different places you go, everybody's saying balance, everything in order. Yeah. And that makes sense. It sounds right. It sounds good for, good for all sorts of things. And in many ways it is, but it wasn't right. It's like he said, you're doing what I ask, which is out of balance, out of whack, dangerous for my health. And, why?
Prophetic self-awareness. If only it came earlier in the journey. Hey.
It's like, I would have embraced it more, but because I would have probably maybe thought it was cool. It's still getting hard, but because it's like that, why would you go that far? It's a big, that's in the air.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I used the word extreme.
Yeah.
Because it's extreme what you did, and I think it's extreme what you did. And you didn't get understood by very many people. And the trouble was, you were having a battle with it yourself in your own brain, and same with you. So, that's surrounded, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that? Yeah. And where's the Lord? Hello. He's watching.
He's watching from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it's cool. And, as one preacher said, that's where a lot of God's people live. Hey.
Yeah.
And you come to get him out of the prison house. Hey.
Yeah.
And one day people are going to wake up and realise that God doesn't want a religion. And that's going to be a big shock.
Yeah.
He's not interested in what you do.
No.
Hey.
No, he's not interested in what you do or even how we think. He's interested in how he thinks.
Yeah.
And he wants us to think that. He wants us to say that. And if we're not saying that, then we're actually working for the other team.
Right. Now, Amy, we have brought you back from... Yes. Amy was leaving today, hopping in your car and going. Finished the first session and felt not done. And the Lord said, to be continued.
Yes.
And we thought, when? And then I thought, well, if not now, when?
When?
Because you don't even live in our town. So, I've babbled on too far. You just go through whatever, whether you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever you need to do, and just wander us through some of the victory stuff.
Cool. On my to-done list.
Yes. I like that, it's a done list.
To-done list, yeah. I couldn't find some paper, so I've got the to-do list, but it's a done list.
Okay.
Right, so this morning when we finished, one of the things that I realised I hadn't said, the thing that was the most effective to me, I'd talked about how I had to change the way I thought and spoke. I had to change the way I had to choose joy and choose to protect. I didn't say this, but choose to protect joy. So, it changes your actions. Choosing not to get offended. Yeah. Choosing not to engage with things which are not necessary.
Okay.
Because they're not helpful.
Okay.
You say walk away from some situations. You don't have to be right all the time.
Okay.
That's enough for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It reminds me of nitpicking. I was like, I've got to stop the nitpicking.
Yeah, because you got to find out what kills your joy.
Internally or even externally. That's not something. They're not important.
Because it'll be different for everybody. But if you work at what takes your joy and then stop doing that, that'd be a good start.
Exactly. And you have to find your joy in the first place. Because sometimes you're so worn down that it's hard to find joy. So that was just like, I just got in the Lord's face and said, give me joy. I'm not going another step.
No, we'll stuck on this for a bit because joy is super important.
It is.
Because we all talk about it a lot lately. So the joy you're talking about, was that there all through this process, or did that come?
That was from, probably sometime after 2017.
Oh, really?
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, so later on.
Yeah.
Later on, but it was just because there wasn't much progress until I started making these steps.
Okay, so that's something to say, like, you're doing this stuff for the Lord, you're getting some awareness, but there isn't really a lot of joy. Do you remember what started to bring the joy?
No.
Okay.
Other than just saying, I'm not doing anything further. And it was actually a choice
Yeah.
to choose joy
Yeah.
and to start looking for joy and start looking for gratefulness and happiness.
So that's a mature thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was that? There's a song I think we did the other day. I think it's a scripture. It says, "And I choose your joy, Lord, above all the other sounds."
Yeah.
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 So you did that consciously.
Consciously.
Okay, cool.
And I battled that for a while to make it part
Okay.
of me. And I know there's levels of joy, but
Yeah.
that's an inner one which
That's cool.
it didn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on the outside.
So you're funny because, like, if people knew you, they would never know hardly any of this internal process. They would have said you were a happy, joyful person. Hey, but inside,
Well, the battle was coming from every front, and so you're worn down, and like if you're in pain, you're tired, you're sick, you've got battle on all sorts of fronts, busy.
yeah,
That's often one of the first things to go.
yeah. Okay, so I didn't mean to, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the joy thing was the decision, and that started something off.
Yeah, that started something off. I talked a bit about my mother-in-law and how she just grateful. She drives, like, my father-in-law was in intensive care or in hospital for about a year. She drives past to the hospital and she goes, "I've got so many happy memories in that place."
She was amazing.
And that sound is a different sound because if you listen out there and just any conversation, it's like, oh, she did this or she did this or why did they do that?
And that's her partner of a lifetime.
Yes.
Who's terminally ill.
Terminally ill. He died.
Yeah.
He didn't come out again.
No.
And that's her last memories of him. And she's like,
That's
I've
impressive.
got happy memories.
Yeah.
He also came to the Lord in there.
Yeah.
And they got to pray. After a lifetime of praying for him, they got to spend time together. It was amazing.
Yeah.
There were so many good things about it. Yeah. But you could have chosen to say, that operation didn't work. That there didn't work. Yeah. They were terrible. There were nurses that were good. There were nurses that were bad. But if you focus on that, that's what your memory is.
Yeah.
And that's what your story is as you go along. It's like I've had to go back and rewrite some of my story.
Okay.
I've had to go back and choose to say, well, this is what happened. You're like, this is what happened to me. This is what people did to me. I've had to choose, okay, this is what I chose. And I chose his plan for my life.
Yeah.
Or I chose to go along with it.
Yeah.
This is my responsibility. And you have to take ownership of your own life.
Much healthier.
Much healthier.
So you don't live as a victim.
No. That gets rid of that victim mentality.
Yeah,
you rewrite your history.
That's cool.
And you give it.
Hey, victors write the history.
Yes.
That's what they say. It's cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
And of course, there's been things I've still been battling with from my history. But like the Lord's, so many things. I remember years ago, like the Lord was saying, you've got like bites and sores and things festering all over you. You have to get rid of that bitterness.
Yeah.
Because if you hold on to those things that people have done to you or things, it festers and it causes sickness through your whole body, your spiritual and physical,
it's massive effect.
You actually have to go back through and say, it's like redeeming your history.
Yeah, I love it.
And saying, this is where the Lord won, you know, and this is where, even the bad stuff, the really crappy stuff.
Yeah.
You can make a decision in that and change how it affects you.
So isn't that's down the road to maturity, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like going back and like picking up the noted revenge, replacing it with forgive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the other Adamic man wants revenge.
We've all been on a bit of that lately.
Yeah.
Keep no record of wrongs, and their thing they did or said, it can't own you. Takes a while to work all that out.
And it it is work.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily happen instantly, but it is a decision
Okay. So that's
and a choice.
the choosing the joy started something. You went back and specifically redeemed stuff.
Yeah, and I think
refused
that might
to-
have been before the joy.
Really?
But yeah.
Okay. So well, it's
Anyway,
too late now.
Too late now. It's that
But
order.
it's-
That's fine.
This is in black and white now.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
This is number 1. This is number 2.
Cool.
Question mark.
Even your number is.
Yes. I'll do a graph.
I don't think it matters which order. You just got to do
No,
it.
it's not a systematic theology at this point.
No. No. Write it all on me.
All good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like see this stuff. I love this stuff. This helps. So okay. So you've done that. What else have you got?
I've got. You have to choose life.
Okay. So how does that differ from joy?
Well, because it's what you're speaking. It's what you're
okay.
speaking out. It's
yeah.
it's what you're grounding and you're earthing.
Yeah.
Because for years it's been like the Lord saying, it's like, and we've heard it lots of times, it's like, create with me.
Yeah.
You know, when he created the earth, it was with his voice.
Yeah.
It wasn't by saying, oh crap, that's awful. You know, that wouldn't have brought about the effect
No,
that he
that
needs.
might have not been what we're looking for.
No. And so he spoke something into being, and that's what I've had to do in my circumstances and in my life, like speak things into being. And the challenge for me has to be going from the murmuring, complaining, and why didn't they do this, and to finding a way of reframing it
Yeah.
and speaking that out. When you're speaking to people, how you change your words. So sometimes I don't talk because I don't have anything nice to say. No,
Your God taught that, didn't
it's
he?
not about nice. It's about what's going to bring life.
And you did this in every area, every aspect. Home, family, people, friends,
Yeah,
the Lord, everything.
It's not part time.
No.
Because like the Lord had already dealt with my moaning and stuff, and he said, you're not allowed to complain, not allowed to moan, but this is the next step after that. It's birthing things.
Did you know that Amy was? I did not know that you were a moaner complainer. Did you know that?
No, I did not know. No.
No.
It's
Interesting.
something
It's
to-
been a while since I've been
something-
allowed to.
Something to hold a little bit, because you're sneaky. You hide your process away. Not always, but pretty good.
No, he's hidden me away, and I haven't been allowed to say things
Okay.
because it's been, I'm only allowed to speak life.
Yeah.
So you haven't known how to frame some of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to own it. And because what he sort of said to me is that if you're not speaking life, you're actually working for the other team. And so what it does is you go out there and you light little fires. You speak, light little. Let's say the fire's life. You light little fires, and then when you're speaking stuff, even if it's about something different, it's like you're snuffing them out. And so it's like being a double-minded man. You're working on both sides. It's that tree thing again. It's like you're undermining.
You're killing stuff.
You're killing stuff again. And so I've been really conscious of how to talk, which is really hard when you're told not to be careful.
So the thing is, the backdrop is you're doing all this without really overt victory.
Yeah.
You're just doing this because you're just following the dots, trying to be, whatever, you're trying to be faithful to the Lord, and just,
It does shift the environment around you. Each one of those things you do, it shifts the environment around you and creates a space for other people around you to change.
Yeah.
And like what I have found is the only way to change a situation is to change myself.
And so, like you're saying, this really kicked in about 2017. So how many years ago is that? That's 7 years ago. So it's intensified then.
Yeah.
It's probably about, I'm not quite sure, that's about the Lord was really dealing with us. Similar sort of time frame when Hannah turned up and pointed out, you could be doing better.
Yeah, I don't know what month that was. I finished my thing in 16, but I don't know what month I came in.
Yeah, so it's all around the
So,
same
yeah,
time.
it is around the same time. I felt like when Hannah came, I'd already pulled myself up by my bootstraps.
Oh, you dodged that one.
Yeah.
You didn't get that telling off.
I'd managed to pull myself up,
Yeah.
but it was, I was still pretty tired. There's this jadedness, whereas now I'm feeling a lot more fresh.
How did that, when she came down, you remember that meeting?
Yeah.
How did that affect you? Did
I
it give you some hope?
recognised her.
You recognised the
I
sound?
recognised her.
Yeah.
obviously I didn't understand everything she was saying, but I recognised her, and that was quite awesome to me, because there hasn't been anybody else really that I recognised, maybe Clarice or you know. And so that there was something there that I was like, yep, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It's not always straightforward. But so that life thing has been really key for me. And it's how you pray, or you're speaking things out rather than saying, "Dear Jesus, bless my mummy and daddy." You're saying, in this situation, I take command. I create an environment of change, or, you know, just, it's simple.
Prayer life's a window, to what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And hand in hand with that whole life thing, it's learning that, you know, the situations that you're fighting often come in the form of a person.
Yeah.
And just learning within that you're not fighting the person.
Yeah.
You're fighting the spirit behind it, whatever's coming with it. And it's not saying that everybody you meet's possessed, but there's always a battle going on in the spirit between what is life and what is death, and we can speak death over anybody at any time can make it harder for someone else, and so we is learning to come against that and fight that. And I had to speak over my household. I had to speak over my property. You just go, nah, that's not going to be on my property anymore. Like, there are certain things and aspects which I don't want in my house.
Yeah.
And it made changes.
Yeah.
It made changes.
I remember some of those conversations.
Yeah. So after all that,
and this is all happening, and there's still no real release from the process you've been in.
No.
You're still in that process.
Still in that process.
So this is sort of pre-major breakthrough still.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So still, I don't think we really touched on it earlier, is that, I mean, we did to a point, but there were, his voice, like, sometimes I just know something needs to happen, or it's not intimate.
Yeah.
I sort of liken it to when you're a kid and you get 2 tin cans and you pull it tight and you have a string between them, and it's like you're listening really, really carefully.
That used to happen in the 60s. It doesn't happen. They don't know tins.
I don't know the 60s. I'm still not 50.
You said she was 50.
Keep making her older.
It didn't happen in the 90s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you get 2 tin cans, you stretch them out, and I think I did it out the window with my sisters, and you're talking to one person talks and the other person listens, and you have to listen really, really, really hard. And sometimes I'd just get like one little phrase, one little thing, or I just know something, which thank goodness he let me do that, or he'd give me a dream.
Yeah.
And he'll clarify things.
So you're running on minimal.
Running on minimal, and there's been for years it was dreams, and that was really helpful, and then they sort of nothing. And he wouldn't let me read the Bible. Yeah. Mainly because, like, I grew up on reading the Bible. I would listen to the Bible on tape when I was going to sleep as a teenager. Like, I read my Bible day.
Because you're that good girl.
I'm that good girl. And he made me put it down. Yeah. Because if you read it with religion, all you do is bop yourself over the head, and you cannot get that freedom that you need.
I remember years ago you said to me, I don't read it. And I go, oh my goodness, why? And you said, because I just see law. And there's no argument. You're better off not to read
it. Exactly. And so, I mean, I don't know if people have heard that before. It's okay not to read your Bible if you're using it as a weapon, a blunt weapon, not a spiritual one.
Against yourself.
Against yourself. That's where I was getting to. But And so without his presence, without his word, and with very minimal voice, it can still be done. Yeah. And that's like that's a victory in itself.
And you were still faithful and focused and pretty much, I won't say undaunted, but you were unwavering. Hey, I never worried about whether you were standing. You knew you would be. That's awesome.
He's always been my heart.
Yeah.
He's always been what I wanted right from that young age. And at 4, I fell in love with him at 4.
Yeah.
And he's always been my heart. And so, I mean, I've looked around. I'm not stupid. There isn't any other option.
Nothing good.
Nothing else good.
No.
Nothing's going to bring me the happiness I've given. I've given myself to him. I can't take myself back. No. And, you know, I go, Lord, what other option is there? Oh, well, we'll keep trucking.
Yeah, option A.
Option A. I don't want to do option B.
No.
I don't want to do option B.
You'd have to, I think, option B, you have to tell significant lies to yourself, but it is doable because you just tell little ones at the start and they just get bigger and you talk yourself into it, into crazy situations. And most people that the church would say were backslidden, probably most of them probably aren't backslidden, they're just in process, but they don't know how they got there. Hey. But you're awesome because he's kept you.
Yeah.
Hey.
He also wouldn't let me listen to any teaching, you know, didn't attend church, didn't fellowship with many, but, that's the word that people talk about. So I didn't meet together with many Christians. I talked to you. I didn't talk to you because we were doing our own thing.
Yeah. I was hiding.
You were hiding. I was hidden, which is what I haven't talked about. But, there wasn't much spiritual contact. And that's also one of those major fears, is that if you're not in contact with people, you're not spending quality time with the Lord. If I did that, he didn't turn up. I had to just, I would talk to him all day long. Like my day was like, okay, Lord, how are we going to do this? When are we going to do it? How, what timing? It was a constant back and forth. And if he didn't say anything, I'd just keep moving. Like the fear in the church is if you are not going to church, if you're not with other Christians, if you're not, doing all the other rules that we've been put into us, there's a fear that we're going to backslide.
Exactly.
And that is one of the things that I've been breaking as well.
I think so.
Yeah, is that normal Christian walk. I think we've done similar things in some ways, and different angle of it. But it's like it's okay to not do those things if that's what he says. Because
the rules say if you don't keep these rules, you will backslide. And what we've discovered is if you do what he says, it may look like backsliding. Yes. But you will not backslide.
Yeah. and I guess one of my biggest fears was backsliding.
Was that? Oh, because of your upbringing and because of who you are. Yeah.
And I always wanted to please him, and so backsliding would be like the ultimate.
You're probably the only person I met that hasn't. Maybe you and Hannah.
It was so weird because I never once thought I was one, but I knew it looked like it.
Yeah.
But it was so confusing.
No, you weren't. You never were like that, and neither was Amy. You didn't have that smell about you. I never worried about either of you. I didn't understand. I didn't understand you, and I didn't really understand your walk.
We tried to fix it.
We tried to fix it. And if the Lord had just said to me, what are you trying to do? I said, I'm trying to fix Amy's walk. It's all broken up. And he would have gone, if he'd have said to me, it's me, it's not going to get fixed for a while, I would have saved myself a lot of grief. But we built relationship through it.
We did. And
every prayer time was ineffective. Every major revelation and breakthrough was a complete waste of time.
You prayed against him.
Yeah, pretty much working against them. Yeah. I put them in the desert, Lord. Oh, no, we've gone and got them out. No! Put them back.
I'm not going to work. I've got you a job.
I did that with you.
You did that with me.
Yeah, here's some shoes.
It was a horrendous job.
You'll like it. Yeah. But, seriously, people say, if I could go back in time, I'd love to go back and start with what we know now. Yes. But, I wouldn't try and fix things that God's not going to fix. I'd give God his room. Yeah. Because everybody had to be fixed, and it had to be fixed in a certain way, and the church said, this is how it works, and so much fear. That if you don't do all these things, you'll backslide and all this sort of stuff. And we spent half our time giving permission for people to be obedient, not to freak out.
Yeah. It's like you're walking into the fear and everything's telling you why would you go that way? Don't go that way because it's bringing up so much fear. Like, get out of it.
It's funny because you think about it. The church is saying, don't do these things, and everybody gets fearful that they'll backslide. And the Bible says, I haven't given you a spirit of fear. And so we're basically getting, I'm not going to use the word you used this afternoon, we'll use that on another tape, starts with D, ends with Og.
Yeah.
It's like we use fear to control people. And God's going, actually, that's not my spirit.
Yeah.
It's Antichrist. So anything that's got fear in it, I know who it's not. Ain't the Lord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was also another part of my journey, somewhere along the line, quite some time ago.
Is that one? Hold on, I've got 1, 2, 3. This is 4.
It'd be 0.
0.
Is some of his creating words is like, be still. And that's like, it's not be still. It's a commandment. It's
not good advice.
It's not good advice. And we've read the Bible like it's good advice. And so it's do not fear. It's not, don't fear when you don't feel like it. It's like, do not fear.
Yeah.
And it should reverberate through us and change us.
It's supposed to be a warning.
Yeah.
If you're doing this, you better check.
But it's also to me, it's also a life word, because it's like, it's supposed to get inside and saying, it's almost change us on the inside. Like it's a word that's supposed to grow in us and saying, do not fear, and give us that safety.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to fear. So yeah, I've had to fight all sorts of fears. The earthquakes were a really good help for that.
Earthquakes were fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Because like the current one of the things between you two, that different language, it's a similar thing, is he's building a nature.
Yeah.
And the nature's not a religious nature or an Adamic nature. It's not a good person or a bad person nature. It's a Christ nature.
Yeah.
And it's not from this realm.
No.
It doesn't operate with any of the same rules and principles.
No.
So, you guys have been prototyping, like a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But you two in particular has been picked out to be picked on. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
I said to them, I couldn't do what they did. I couldn't do what you did. I know I couldn't. I couldn't do what you did. I could hardly do what I did. Mine was way easy.
I don't want to do what you did.
Way easier. But,
Yeah.
it's appreciated. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just thinking it was like weird. Like it was a Mary that wanted to be a Martha. It was a Martha that wanted to be Mary.
We could have put you
But then we both discovered when we were doing it. Neither the thing she says about like it's never enough. Like I realized that.
Yeah.
It's like you both discovered the things.
We were the same side, two sides of the same coin, but the centre's the same.
Same.
There's still basic things in
Same
there that we
spirit.
had to do both do the same.
Well, you're both supposed to come to the same value conclusions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're both supposed to be unmanipulable by external and internal forces that aren't the Lord. Your own brain. Eh?
Yeah.
I mean, like, people can have an opinion, but this is the one. My big problem is not all the, the odd detractor. It's this detractor sometimes. But, you can win that one. That's a like, if I was to do a graph, I haven't done a graph, I just feel like a graph coming up. Amy, we're talking about victory, that's the topic. How many people, and don't give me a specific number, but in general, how many people do you think have got to the point where they've won the internal battle and they've not like finished, but flipped it to the point where now they are running downhill with grace and with a healthy whole picture of themselves, not super affected by external forces, whether they be good or bad, or internal stuff? How many people have had that victory, do you think, and are winning that?
Very few.
Very few, eh?
Very few.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's like this whole move is a mature move, and the goal is how many? Everybody, because that's whole. And for the Lord to be expressed, He's got to do it through. So, like, it's for everybody, isn't it? But there might be towns, villages, cities, and countries and ethnicities in the world where it's done.
Yeah.
But in the places we've been, not so much. Well, you need to get some different friends. And like you guys, not through lack of trying. Hey.
No, and that's one of the things, like that whole being, he hid me away.
Yeah.
I mean, he told me years ago that he'd give me a garden at a place at a time at a season.
Yeah.
Turns out to play on words.
Oh.
He'd give me
a
garden at a place at a time at a season. And it's like, I've been that garden at a place at a time at a season in secret.
You have.
And so you don't have lots
Didn't
of
you
things.
see that at the time when he told you? Now,
It was like-
we're getting better at decoding his sentences because we're looking now. We used to miss all that stuff, but now
Yeah.
we're a bit more suspicious of his statements.
Exactly. That was like 22 years ago or something. So
Yeah.
I've been looking for it.
Yeah.
I've been looking for it.
She's quite slow. But isn't that...
Yeah.
It's awesome. And that's exactly what you've been. We're trying to fix something that's out of time, and it's out of time for a purpose.
Yeah.
So, like, question, with these things, do you think you're coming into your time now? Do you
Yes.
think that's part of the change?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I mean, he said to me, it's finished. It's
Yeah.
like Jesus on the cross. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done. And I mean, and that sounds big, like comparing myself to him, but as he is, so are
Yeah.
we.
So a whole new season's beginning.
Yeah.
So all that was true is now history, and now you probably haven't got a clue.
That's about right.
About right.
Yeah.
Because you had no clue the first time. And this next season, what's that look like?
Yeah.
Hey.
Don't know. But what I had to like have victory over in the last season
Yeah.
was sin, sickness, and death.
Yeah.
And so you have to be put in amongst it to win over it.
Yeah. All sorts of death.
All sorts of death.
Yeah.
All sorts of death. Yeah.
I think that's where the church is going, though. It's going into a whole other realm where everything that was status quo is being eroded, and a new status quo is coming. And most people are scrambling to try and define it. But a bit like the last season, we'll define it better a bit later.
Yeah.
When we've walked it a bit, because we need to build up a muscle memory of a different kind of existence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he's given me like a whole lot of things, declarations and things that I am. And, some of them I understand because I've walked them out to that point.
Yeah.
Some of them are things that I know are true
Yeah.
and really don't have a lot of depth of understanding.
Not
yet.
quite sure how it's going to get
No,
asked. Yeah.
no, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, Amy, I've done a list, extensive list from 0 to
Yes.
to 2, 1, 3, maybe a 4. Now, in that process, which led up to, it's done, time to move on, was there any other victory stuff that was key?
I don't remember any key ones. There's lots of little
Lots
bits
of
and
little
pieces.
ones. Yeah.
You've got to take whatever wins you can along the way and just celebrate them on your own.
So there was no real one thing?
No.
No. At the end?
No, and like when the third day came, you had like a whizzy bang.
It's a very theological term for it, a whizzy bang.
Whizzy bang.
Yeah, I did.
When the third day came for me,
No whizzy bang.
no whizzy bang because I was told I already had it.
And you were very disappointed with
I was
that.
a wee bit disappointed because I was already disillusioned with where the church was at
But
and
here we go.
my relationship.
Going to get a whizzy bang.
Go and get a whizzy
And
bang.
the Lord said no.
Yeah. So all the way through there hasn't been whizzy bangs, and there's been little hints of his presence and little key things.
Yeah.
And often some of the things that you've spoken over me or said to me have been really helpful.
Even though ineffective, helpful.
No, but just things that you can
Effective
hold on
later.
to.
Yeah.
And help with the understanding of what you're doing sometimes.
We started to get understanding of prophetic lives a number of years ago. And that started to help
That definitely helps.
decode and take some of the ouch
Yeah.
out of people's walks.
Yeah.
When they realised you called and you're gonna be a picture of something.
Yeah.
We hadn't heard that before, really.
No, and I mean, one of the things that really helped me was like, I remember we prayed together in Papamoa, and it might have been Deb even, but it was the three of us,
Yeah.
and it was like, you haven't been abandoned, you've been sent.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like sent into the, the darkness.
Yeah.
To
On
bring
purpose.
on purpose
Yeah.
to set things free and lift people back into the light.
We were praying the other day, and here, can I mention the word it's not live soak.
Yeah.
The bullying thing, can I mention that?
Yeah.
So we were praying here a couple of days ago, and one of the things that happened, you got bullied
Yeah.
by people, probably maybe circumstances, different things, and when you feel like the Lord's a million miles away, and we were praying, I've had a few of these things for you, funny pictures from the Lord, and the bullying thing, and we were in here, and I said to you, man, it'd almost feel like the Lord was bullying you, and you go, yeah, well, I did feel it. You probably, because you're super Christian, you wouldn't have thought that, but
I've said it before.
It looked like it felt like it. And I said, Lord, and he goes to me, I wasn't her bully. Then I started crying. He goes, she's my champion. He sent you in because he knew you could do it. And he could do it in you and through you. And I'm going, lucky you didn't send me in, Lord, because it might not have ended so well. And then I prophetically told me to lay down on the floor, and you stood on me. As a prophetic act, all your bullies under your feet, and then you forgave them all, which you'd already done, because, I tried to tell you to do things, you already done them. But you said one of the things was bullies undermine, and religious spirits are bullies, and they undermine people.
Yeah.
I've been doing Christian stuff, church for years. I've met so many people who are undermined. Love the Lord, love people, into it, and they just feel so undermined, and it's all subtle, but it's just a bully.
Yeah.
Never good enough, just constant. The accused of the brethren's a spirit. So anyway, but that was good. So I got to lie on the floor. You and Lil, you loved that.
Deb loved it more.
My wife did like it.
Yeah.
She did like it a lot.
She did like it. Yeah. I was just busy trying to balance.
Yeah. But I've noticed
you.
that when we talk a little bit self-awareness,
Yeah.
when prophetic self-awareness begins to come, next minute, the scars get healed, the weight starts to go off. It's almost like you were talking the other day, as a kid, give the kid a reason. If sometimes people go through all sorts of things if they have a reason, but the Lord, he's even more trusting of us. He sends people into things, and you go, why, Lord? And he goes,
not telling.
yeah. Like Moses, 40 years. 40 years is a good number.
Yeah.
And no reason, no explanation. He doesn't have to do that. And his game is so intense.
Except for you do read the book, later on you go, oh, there's lots in here.
It was all in there.
Yeah.
It was all in there.
I know. You said that. Because, there's stuff we've said for years, stuff that, we learnt from Kalivana and, in your books and things like that. And they register, but they don't register.
You got to walk them.
Got to walk them.
You got to walk them.
And that, yeah.
What does Kelly say? The delicious pain of having your own baby, your own destiny. You don't walk with the Lord. How precious is that?
Pretty awesome.
And everybody's just different.
Yeah.
The three of us, we're friends, we're family, we're nearly family.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're totally different.
Yeah.
The way the Lord relates to all three of us is, like he likes me, he makes a fuss about me, he doesn't bother with you so much.
Doesn't make a fuss.
And Hannah doesn't like a fuss being made. But it's awesome. So, now, bang, bang, bang. Is there anything else that happened, to look for? Just lately, when he said it's done, that was just the culmination of whole lots of words and dealings and sortings, and then he just, that was like the clincher that you knew it would, because, we tried to get you out of that room into that room. We had a picture of you in a workroom going into a party room, and the door was open, and we've been trying for the last 2, 3, 4 years to get you through the door, and you've been heading towards it. This has been this whole process, hasn't it? And you haven't been able to get permission because you've already got it, and so you had to break rules. It's been quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anything else happened?
Anything else
just
happened?
Lately?
Once he said, "You've done enough," it was like there was a switch.
Okay.
And although I was doing the same things and I probably looked like nothing had changed, it was like there was a different calm.
That's it.
There was a different feeling.
Yeah.
And things that, so I knew I had a series of things that I had to do before I came away on holiday.
Yeah.
And I had to have them done, finished. And that
Okay.
was from the Lord. That's not from my work. Like that's what the Lord told me to do. And there's a series of things that I had to do. And not only did I finish them, but I went through all the teeny tiny little bits and got them done. And so it was just like, it's
So annoying.
done.
It like I just was seeing it, you know, like when he says you've done enough, you know how like you can never do enough, and he said you've done enough
Yeah.
because you're operating under the like that you had to operate under that curse thing, and then he's like curse broken.
You've basically broken the curse and cut that tree down. How good is that?
That's pretty awesome.
I mean, like, we're talking, not talking a 5-minute walk here, we're talking your whole life pretty much.
Yeah.
It must have been a good day.
It was amazing. And it wasn't, it was just subtle.
And it wasn't the whiz bang again.
It wasn't the whiz bang, it's just, you've done enough. And then it's just
It's done. That's pretty cool.
and then I was just like, that's good. But I still had to do stuff in the natural. I still had to get these things done. But it wasn't the battle. It wasn't, and like normally, it doesn't matter what you do, you don't get to the end of your list.
No.
And it's like I got to the very end of my list.
That's cool.
And went home
Yeah.
and came on holiday a day early.
Yeah.
No
That's
more.
right, you did, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no
Amy
more.
came to see us for a night, maybe 2.
Yes,
Been here for 6 at this stage,
but it's
going
like
to the 7th.
no more toil because the curse broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have to toil it.
Exactly. And I know that's what I came to break.
Yeah.
And it's like before I was even, right back in creation, when I was thought of,
Yeah.
that was my job,
Yeah.
is to come to earth and deal to the toil.
Sent
Sent.
on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah. Apostolically means just sent. People say, you apostle, do you know the Bible? No, I'm sent from heaven, though.
Yeah.
Is that enough authority for you? Can you quote? Go away. But yeah, so the thing I like is it's always corporate.
Yeah.
And like Hannah's breakthrough produced a whole lot of activity in us and around us. And then your breakthrough, because you're a key member, I'm expecting the same again. And I'm suspicious that this will be happening all over the planet when it's Steve Everett, God bless him, when it's time for an idea.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. This whole call to maturity, all these things you did, all just reek of maturity. They reek of dealing with all the adolescent, thumb-sucking, childish responses to all the stuff and being tough and standing up. It's going to be a good day. And we're sort of, at the moment, we're looking for some natural change, but we were sitting here this afternoon, I'm going, I'm actually a bit frustrated because I sort of want to see how this thing rolls out. And then I'll put this on. I don't know if I put it on the other video. I'll put it on this one as well. We were sitting here after we were praying this morning, and the Lord, I saw a picture of the Lord and his head and shoulders in a group of people, and he said, it's time for my voice. And I thought, oh yeah. And then, you said, what's the picture look like? Tell me the picture. So
I like details.
explain it. And she goes, well, obviously, it's his head and shoulders because there's no body there because we're the body. And I'm going, oh yeah. But I've been hearing his voice out of people with more authority lately. I like it. It's a, I can't even pronounce the word, but a harbinger or a harbinger. What's that word?
Harbinger?
Harbinger.
Isn't that for it?
Yeah, no,
Bad stuff?
no, but it's like it's speaking to something. It's coming. It's actually here, but I think it's coming.
Yeah.
And don't you so want to see the church in general and individual just full of his voice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We had, because you do. And we were praying this morning, this morning, and I said to you, you got a choice. You can have his voice or his presence. And I'm going, tough call. And I'm going, you'd have to go for his voice, but you wouldn't want to miss any of them, But his voice and his presence, oh my God, how good's that? We want both, don't we?
I just said both because, it's been missing. I'm not going to pick between the two. I just said both.
Yeah. And then Deb was sitting, he says, the room's filling up with mist. And I was hearing his voice so clear. Got that word for you about the hand span and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you don't need to be a theologian when the Lord starts talking. Like he says to me, Hannah mocks me, but I get something from the Lord. He goes, go on, do your little Bible study. Because I was saying to Amy, I listened to some guys today, lawyers and professors, talking about law. So impressive. The knowledge, the words, the study, the years, the layers. I was quite intimidated by it. But we've got access to superior intelligence. And the thing is, the stuff the Lord gives you, the lawyer stuff's tricky because they're trying to out-trick each other.
Yeah.
Our stuff's simple because we're trying to heal. We're trying to heal people, and it's just got to be for everybody.
What did Tamsin call it? Did he, like AI was like almighty intelligence?
Almighty intelligence. It's
Different kind of AI.
Yeah, okay. So huge season's finished for you,
Yes.
which happens to coincide with a fresh Kairos or season in the Lord.
Yeah.
So you're finally probably in step with people. Maybe.
I think so. I mean,
You're not sure.
the first.
I'm not used to it.
I don't know how to play nice.
No. She does not.
But the first thing the Lord said was to come here.
Yeah.
Is because it's a group victory. It's a victory for the team. It's a victory for the church. It's a victory for the land. I mean, I know that sounds, I'm not being proud.
Well, you're a catalyst for our inception.
Yeah.
So I don't mind you being a catalyst for another stage.
Yeah.
So, in saying that, you're probably not, Amy. You just, I wouldn't say something mean, but I will not say something mean. But it's like, it's got to be a corporate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
But I know it takes us all. Like, it's not. I think I was talking to you, Hannah. I think that's how he's making this day safer, because you can't run apart from another, and he's linked us together in a way that we can't do it without each other.
In day 2, you could be something. It was possible with gifting and talent and a bit of charisma. You could be something. In this day, it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
You can't actually operate without your brother and your sister. It's super incomplete.
Yes, because your picture is so exciting because his head's so big. He has a big body, and he's finally finding a body to rest his head on if he's going to start speaking. Oh, yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, it is. And that's all we do. What do you guys do at Jesus now? We're just looking to provide a body for his head, a people that he can rest his mind and heart in, and express himself. And it has to be a mature body, because what he's doing now is a mature word. So it's like, we have the best job on the planet. We did not know it would take this many years to get into starting position. And the Lord's going, you think you're in starting position? We're not overly confident. We're not presuming. But we're not what we were.
Exactly.
We're not what we were. My God, we thought we had our act together 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey.
We did. We thought we were the business.
So cute.
And our little pigtails.
We were so cute.
The thing was, we did. And the thing was, 20 years ago or 24 years ago, when this all started for us, he was awesome. And we found out 24 years, he's still awesome.
Yeah.
And we've got rid of some of our nonsense, which is way better. Our knowledge and
that awesomeness. So after a year of that, I went, oh, he's so awesome. I'm so not. It's not compatible. It needs to be fixed.
He's been working on us.
Yep.
Yeah.
What blows my mind and what I think is so exciting is that, since beginning of time, when Adam and Eve sinned, it's like the earth has been groaning for the sons of God to be revealed. And we are them.
Getting a hint of it now.
And we are them. And it's like the earth is, everything in this planet is going, yes, they're here. And it's like, how the heck?
Had to happen on this earth first. That's been the battle. I had a whole teaching on that, which the Lord showed me the other day, just starting. Can't talk about it tonight, but it's an interesting subject at the moment. but I've got a fresh angle on it. That's probably done.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that was good for people, good to listen to, but probably most good for us. In a selfish kind of way.
Yeah.
We've got to just sit here and finalise it and agree on it and all go, yeah, that's what happened. That's where we've been. Like it's almost like I said that when we got here, the Lord said, close the book, not the chapter, a whole book. I want to start a new book. And so we've been here going, preface, forward, and we want to start the chapters.
Yeah.
Because this is this will not be the old book.
Yeah.
Some of the same
That's
characters.
one of the reasons I came, is like there has to be a finish to something, because we're all waiting. It's like, he said to a whole lot of us, it's done.
And the main thing is now we have an angst-free relationship, you and me. We've had an incredibly supportive relationship that's been pretty feisty at times.
Yes.
And so we've decided to embrace the dysfunction of it. Why put so much pressure
We're
on?
best friends.
But, because we were battling stuff we didn't understand.
Exactly.
Trying to find words for things we didn't know.
Yeah, and trying to talk in different languages at the same time.
Yeah.
And not realising we're both talking different languages.
And one of the best things, one of Amy's new power phrases is, I'm going to mention this one. One of Amy's power phrases is, you know what I mean.
I've shortened it. I'm just saying,
I know you're going to fix it, Amy.
You know.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that means there's ability for us. But see, the Lord knows. And then this next stage, the confidence that's coming to his church, the no hesitancy in his church, the authority that's coming to his church.
The boldness.
Where did you get this authority? Well, I could show you and tell you. Can I have it? You can. It took us 20 years. It might take you 6 minutes or 2. Our plan is for you to get it easier than we got it. Our plan is to give it away. Hey.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. That's awesome.
Set him free.
Yeah.
It's all about everybody else.
Yep.
Now, remember Kelly, quoting Kelly Varner, only a free man can set a man free. All the statements are good.
So good.
So good. So, Amy, pages and pages of scribble there, all done?
Yeah.
I feel that, well, I don't know what you think. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you. You guys are awesome. You all got a prophetic journey.
Yeah.
Ask the Lord to show you real clear. Take some of the ouch. And this is a good day to be alive. God's doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm glad we're alive. I'm not ready to go yet. I haven't always said that.
No.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Amy. We're done. 1, 2, 3.